From the humble garden snail to the majestic sea turtle, nature has engineered a masterpiece of portable real estate and formidable defense, the shell. But what exactly is a shell? How does it grow? And is it just a suit of armor, or is it something more? Today, we're diving deep into the science of carapaces to answer everything you've ever wanted to know. 1. What is a shell? The basic anatomy. Let's start with the basics. A shell, scientifically speaking, is a rigid, mostly external skeletal structure. The most common types we think of belong to mollusks like snails and clams, and chelonians, that's turtles and tortoises. While they look similar, their origins and structures are quite different. First, the mollusk shell. A mollusk shell is primarily made of calcium carbonate, the same material that makes up chalk and limestone. But it's not just a chalky rock, it's a complex, layered composite material. The periostracum. This is the outermost layer, a thin, organic coating made of a protein called conchyolin. It acts like a varnish, protecting the underlying calcium layers from corrosion and boring organisms. The prismatic layer. Beneath that is the thick, prismatic layer. This is made of calcium carbonate crystals arranged in a tight, robust matrix, also bound by conchyolin. This gives the shell its strength and bulk. The nacreous layer, or mother of pearl, the innermost layer, often smooth and iridescent. Here, calcium carbonate is deposited in microscopic, overlapping plates, like a brick wall. This structure makes nacre incredibly strong and resilient, so much so that scientists study its structure to develop new, lightweight materials. Now, for the turtle and tortoise shell. This is a different story entirely. A turtle's shell is not something it can leave behind. It's a fundamental part of its skeleton. The famous dome top is the carapace, and the flat underside is the plastron. Crucially, the carapace is made by the fusion of the animal's ribs, vertebrae, and dermal bone. It's literally a modified rib cage. This bony structure is then covered by large, hardened scales called scuts, which are made of keratin, the same protein that makes up our hair and fingernails. 2. The science of growth. How is a shell made? So, how do animals build these incredible structures? For mollusks, the secret lies in a specialized organ called the mantle. This is a fold of tissue that lines the inner surface of the shell. The mantle's edge secretes the proteins and minerals that form the shell, layer by layer. As the mollusk grows, its mantle adds new material to the shell's opening, making the shell wider and longer. It's like a 3D printer, building its own home from the inside out. For turtles, the process is locked into their embryonic development. As a turtle embryo grows, its ribs broaden outward and fuse together with dermal bone and its vertebrae, creating that foundational bony dome. The keratinous scuts then grow over the top, providing a protective, wear-resistant shield. A turtle doesn't add rings in the way a tree does. The growth is more complex and happens across the entire structure. 3. More than just armor. The multifunctional shell. We think of shells as armor, and they are brilliantly effective at that. But their functions are surprisingly diverse. Defense, the obvious one. The shape, thickness, and hardness are a primary deterrent to predators. Some, like the box turtle, have hinged plastrons that allow them to completely seal themselves inside. Camouflage. The colors and patterns of many shells help their owners blend into their environment, from the mottled shell of a forest tortoise to the sand-colored shell of a desert species. Moisture retention. For land snails and tortoises, the shell is a crucial tool for preventing desiccation. By retracting inside and often sealing the entrance with a layer of mucus, called an epiphragm in snails, they can conserve water for months. Buoyancy and hydrodynamics. For aquatic animals, the shell's shape is essential for swimming. Sea turtles have streamlined, lightweight shells for efficient travel through the water. Mineral storage. The shell is a massive reservoir of calcium. When dietary calcium is low, organisms can actually resorb it from the inner shell layers for critical metabolic functions. Thermoregulation. The mass of the shell can buffer against rapid temperature changes. Some tortoises use their shells to absorb heat from the sun in the morning. 4. Debunking myths and answering big questions. Now, let's tackle some of the most common questions. Myth 1. Can a snail or turtle leave its shell? Absolutely not for a turtle. Its shell is fused to its spine and ribs. Removing it would be fatal. For a snail, it is attached by powerful muscles. Leaving it would mean certain death. Myth 2. You can tell a turtle's age by counting the rings on its guts? This is a partial truth, but highly unreliable. Skuts develop growth rings in periods of feast and famine. A good year with lots of food creates a wide ring. A bad year creates a narrow one. However, as turtles age, the rings can wear down or become too crowded to count. Furthermore, a turtle may experience more than one growth period per year. So, while it can give a rough estimate for a young turtle, it's not a precise method. What happens if a shell is damaged? Both mollusks and turtles can repair minor damage. The mantle in mollusks can secrete new nacre to patch a hole. Turtles can slowly regenerate bone and keratin, but a severe fracture is a medical emergency, much like a broken limb, and often requires veterinary intervention with braces and bone grafts to heal properly. 5. Shells and our world. The influence of the carapace extends far beyond the animal kingdom. Historically, shells were used as tools, currency, and jewelry. The cowrie shell, for example, was one of the most widely used currencies in human history. Scientifically, the structure of nacre is a classic subject of biomimetics. By studying its brick-and-mortar structure, material scientists are developing new forms of ceramics, body armor, and even bone graft substitutes that are incredibly strong yet lightweight. Ecologically, shells are vital. When an animal dies, its shell remains, providing habitat for other creatures and, over time, breaking down and recycling calcium carbonate back into the ecosystem. So, the next time you hold a seashell or watch a turtle amble by, remember you're not just looking at a simple covering. You're witnessing hundreds of millions of years of evolutionary engineering, a self-made home, a mineral reservoir, a camouflage suit, and a testament to life's incredible ingenuity. It is truly everything an animal needs.